I still remember the day my family split apart. Like it was nothing. No shouting, no chaos, no dramatic goodbye. Just a quiet decision that changed my life forever. I was standing in the corner of our small living room, holding my old stuffed toy, watching everything unfold like I didn't belong there anymore. My mom was packing a small bag for my little brother, gently folding his clothes like she always did. "Don't worry," she told him softly, brushing his hair back. "You're coming with me." My brother nodded, holding onto her hand like nothing was wrong. On the other side of the room, my dad stood next to my sister. He placed his hand on her shoulder and said, "You'll stay with me." And just like that, they had already decided. 2 parents, 2 children. Perfect balance. Except there were 3 of us, and I was the extra one. I waited. I waited for someone to look at me, to say my name, to tell me where I belonged. But what I didn't know that day was that no one was choosing me. "Where do I go?" I finally asked, my voice small, almost invisible. They both paused for a second, just a second. Then my mom sighed, like my question was inconvenient. "We'll figure something out," she said. "Something. Not somewhere. Not home. Just something." That's when I felt it. That quiet, heavy feeling in my chest, like I was already being erased. A few days later, they took me to a place I had never seen before. A building with pale walls and unfamiliar faces. An orphanage. "This is temporary," my dad said quickly, avoiding my eyes. "We just need time to sort things out." I nodded, because I didn't know what else to do. But deep inside, something was already breaking. I watched as they turned around and walked away. No hug, no promise. No, "we'll come back soon," just footsteps fading, until there was nothing left. And in that moment, I realized something that would stay with me forever. I wasn't forgotten. I was left behind. The first nights were the hardest. I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet breathing of other children around me. Some cried, softly in their sleep. Others didn't make a sound at all, like they had already accepted it. I hadn't. Not yet. Every day I waited. Every time footsteps echoed in the hallway, my heart would race. Maybe it was them. Maybe they came back. Maybe they realized their mistake, but they never did. Days turned into weeks turned into months, and slowly, hope started to fade. I began to understand something I didn't want to accept. They weren't coming back. Not for me. That realization didn't come with tears. It came with silence. A deep, heavy silence that settled inside me. But what I didn't know was that silence would become my strength. I started focusing on myself. School became my escape. Books became my safe place. I studied harder than anyone else, not because I loved it, but because I needed something that was mine, something no one could take away. Years passed. I grew up in that orphanage, not as the girl who was left behind, but as someone who refused to stay broken. I learned independence. I learned resilience. I learned how to stand alone without waiting for someone to choose me. And one day, everything changed. A letter arrived. It had my name on it, my real name, the one I hadn't heard in years. My hands trembled as I opened it. It was from my mother. "I've been thinking about you," it said. "We should reconnect." Reconnect. Like we had just lost touch. Like she hadn't walked away from me. Like I hadn't spent years wondering why I wasn't enough. For a moment, my heart softened. That little girl inside me whispered, "Maybe this is it. Maybe they finally want me." But then I remembered everything. The silence, the waiting, the empty door that never opened. And that's when something inside me shifted again, not into pain, but into clarity. I didn't reply immediately. I took my time. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one waiting. They were. A few weeks later, I agreed to meet her. We sat across from each other in a quiet cafe. She looked older, softer, almost uncertain. "I've missed you," she said gently. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't feel like a daughter seeking love. I felt like someone who had already survived without it. "I waited for you," I said calmly. Her eyes filled with emotion. "I was just a child. And I waited every single day." She lowered her gaze. "I thought you would come back." Silence filled the space between us. "I'm sorry," she whispered. And maybe she meant it, but some things don't return, no matter how sincere the apology is. "I'm not here because I needed you," I continued softly. "I'm here because I needed closure." She nodded slowly, tears slipping down her face. "Can we start again?" she asked. I took a deep breath. And for a moment, I thought about that little girl, the one who stood in that living room waiting to be chosen, but she wasn't me anymore. "I've already started," I said. "Just without you." There was no anger in my voice, no bitterness, just truth, and sometimes truth is the strongest form of justice. I stood up, leaving her there with the weight of her choices. Not broken, not angry, just free, because the greatest revenge isn't making someone feel your pain. It's showing them that you survived without them, that you became whole, on your own. Moral: sometimes the people who leave you behind don't realize what they've lost until it's too late. And the strongest thing you can do is move forward without waiting to be chosen.